Oh my god, the dust. The dust wants its revenge. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Dani Marie AUC, and this is part 2 of my computer refresh, and I'm installing some new parts. We have the Elgato HD60 Pro. The Pro just means it's going inside this computer. And a Samsung 970 EVO M.2 drive, which is also going inside of my PC. So, stay tuned for the fun, stay tuned for the shenanigans, and thanks for watching. It's been a journey. Some things have gone wrong. More is coming. You know, that's just how it goes. That's been my experience with building a computer, is that I usually run into something that I struggle with and have to, like, phone a friend, which, yeah, but I definitely had to phone a friend twice. Thank you. Thank you, dear friend. You know you are. But, here we are with my severely deconstructed PC. We've taken out the GPU, we have removed the CPU cooler, we've exposed some of my previous mistakes, and we're gonna fix them. So it's all good, it's all good. We've cleaned the fans, we've cleaned the dust out of almost all the nooks and crannies, hopefully. We have cleaned the CPU cooler and the GPU, and hopefully we're all clean. Again, visually impaired. You know, you'll see in the after video, very up close and personal, you will probably notice some dust bunnies I missed. But you know what? It's okay. So what are we going to do? This is the Elgato HD60 Pro stream card that will go internally underneath my GPU. And this is a Samsung 970 EVO. It is an M.2 SSD drive. That means it goes directly into the motherboard. No need for extra power cords and connectors. It should be a very simple install. I, again, never done this one before, so we're gonna find out. But we're gonna put this in first, actually, because it's gonna be super easy to get to now that the GPU is out of here and the cooler is out of here. These things stick way off of the motherboard and get in your way. Let's get into this box here. All right, look at this little guy. This thing is tiny. It's essentially a little card with some connectors on one end, and it slides into the motherboard socket. Okay, this is a fan connector that we do now have a little bit in the way. It's okay. We're going to direct it down here for now. Get it out of our way. Okay, so more fun is about to begin, because I thought I could install the M.2 drive up here and not have to worry about exposing this drive down here, but it looks like I'm about to use that. So we're gonna get in here with our screwdriver. So this is the bottom panel. It's kind of a vanity plate of sorts. Protects some things, looks nice for motherboards that light up. It would generally have a light in it. I gotta say, I'm getting a little stressed out with this. As exciting as it is stressful knowing I could end up in a spot where I have to wait for somebody to come help me. And I guess that's just kind of... That's not a screw, is it? Yeah, that's a screw. Okay. I want to do things by myself, but I don't want to screw them up. I have no idea where my M.2 screws are. I just want to show you guys what I did when I put this together. I made labels for these packages, especially for the pins with parts in it that were labeled, and I made sure to drop it in the bags with them so that I would have at least a guess, because these are little silver screws for the hard drive. But I think we gotta put this little standoff, which is basically a spot where a screw can go into this screw hole right here. And then get our M.2 drive, and we're gonna insert it at a 30-degree angle. Yeah, okay, and now we're going to take the tiny screw and hold this sucker. Guys, this is going to be a struggle, and I know my head's in the way. Sorry. All right. Oh! The M.2 drive is officially installed. Now we have to fight to put this cover back on top of it, which is going to be fun. This cover actually goes back on here. So this piece actually has a thermal paste here for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to, oh gosh, gross. Okay, we're going to remove this. We're going to get these screws in here. So hopefully I can line them up correctly. And hope we get lucky. Okay. Okay, that one's lined up. This one's just gonna have to go on after the fact because there's no spot for me to feel underneath it. So I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to line up these two end screws with where they go. Amazing. All right. So we get these screws tightened down. We got our thermal paste going underneath. This screw does not want to tighten all the way for some reason. This one will. This one, for some reason, is just not having it. We're just gonna leave it. It's not going anywhere. We're all good. So this is the Elgato HD60 Pro. The 60 mini, it can stream at 60 frames per second. Essentially what this is a piece that fits onto our motherboard into a PCIe slot like a graphics card, but it's much smaller, and it takes up a much smaller PCIe slot. So these are pretty straightforward installations. I'm gonna keep touching this metal here. I actually should have room. I'm gonna remove this last back plate actually because it's gonna go somewhere around there, and we're just gonna put all these back when we're done. Goodness, it's oh. These are supposed to be thumb screws again, but it's a very tight thumb screw. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to pull it out, and we're going to slot it into our PCIe slot. We're going to move this fan header cord out of the way because we don't want that to get trapped behind here. So here it is. This is the PCB on top. We've got the internals, and this part comes out the back. It's got an in and out. It's two HDMI ports, which means you run your HDMI source instead of out to the TV. You run it into this, and then out from this into your TV. So what we're going to do is we're going to slot this right into here. Actually, I don't think it'll fit good there. We're not going to cram it up against the GPU. We're going to slot it right underneath there. This was actually meant to be the simple part. Oops. Again, there we go, trying to scoot up when there is actually no room to scoot up. Such is life when you're visually impaired. Okay. right here. Gonna get our thumb screw in there. All right. And we're all good to go. This isn't gonna move, and we're gonna be ready for some game streaming before we know it. So now comes the really fun part, is we have to reassemble everything, make sure everything's plugged back up. I am actually going to pop these RAM sticks out while I'm in here. I figure I might as well. You just pull it straight out. Alright, I'm just going to pop this one right back in where it was. So there is absolutely no confusion about where it goes. And it snaps right back in. There are actually clips on the sides of these that release it. There's only one clip, but there it goes. That one was really in there. We're just gonna blow it out. And it needs to go straight down. Just like that. All right, we got the others clipped into place. Next is going to be our beloved CPU cooler, which is a joy. But we can do this. I have faith in us. I don't know if you guys can see, I am actually going to just run this fan cable up around the fan and out of our way. I'm actually going to run it through the back so that we can pull it through and get rid of the slack hanging around in the front of our PC. It will just make for a nicer, cleaner look. It's not going to do anything for the PC itself. All right, so make sure our cords aren't in the way. See if our screws are still in place. They are all still in place. We're good. All right, so what we've got to do first here is actually we've got to apply our thermal paste. This is MX4 Thermal Compound Arctic by Arctic, and let's see if we can let the thermal paste do its job. I'm on my first install where I feel like a complete idiot, I'm gonna be honest. Thermal paste comes like this. It's in basically a little syringe. There is way more thermal paste than I need here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on here. We're gonna put essentially enough to where it looks like a grain of rice. All right. Oop. We definitely might have put too much. That came out way faster than I thought. Actually, no, that's not too much. We're good, we're good, we're good. Okay, now, I am going to sit this upright because I want to line these standoffs up with this guy, because this is going to be the challenging part. I know you guys can't see this, but I am literally just feeling around with these standoffs lined up. And now I've got this bottom one lined up. So I'm going to twist that. Hopefully hold it in place for a second so we can work over to this one. Trying not to wiggle it too much. top corner. Got this bottom corner. Now we're just trying to get it evenly distributed. Let's get this other bottom corner. Okay, so this is the part I really thought was going to be a disaster, and it seems to have gone way smoother than I thought it was going to go. And boy, am I happily surprised. Okay, let me show you the back of this where I'm screwing things in. We have 4 screws right here. This is basically a mounting plate that helps our cooler go on easily. Otherwise, there are some where you have to remove the top piece and then you have to remove the plate from the other side. And yeah, so this one, I gotta say, went better than I thought it would. And I'm not upset about it. Next, we're gonna get our GPU. This guy right here. She looks much better than before. Oh my goodness, so dirty. Anyway, you guys are gonna hear this. It will click into place when we get it lined up right. Hold on. Sorry, I wanted to give it one last little spray before we install. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slow. Ready? It clicked into place. Okay, so once this clicks into place, what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb screws, again, just like with the Elgato, and we're going to lock it into place. Okay, we're going to put some of our little plates back into place. These are the back plates that make it look a little nicer over here. So these are rectangular, basically vanity pieces that, well, they're PCIe slots. So like on the back of my video card, instead of having one of these covers, I have one slot with vent holes and another slot with my video outputs. So for this next one, we're gonna skip past our Elgato card. We're gonna get it in here, and it actually, hold on, let me get my hand up in here. Actually, it will lock down in here just like that. The slots slide into the case itself, and that is when we take our thumb screws and we secure them. But you know, again, no trouble with screws. It's all good. Everything's fine here. This is sort of the fun part where everything starts coming back together. Whoopsie. Sorry, just trying to slide this other slot in here. And struggling. It's okay. Drop the thumb screw. No worries. We have it. Let's see if we can get everything plugged back in. We actually do have this that needs to go right here. I remember the plug actually went up. Okay, so we feel around until we find 2 plugs, and they're right there. We found them both. So we're just trying to go into this very top one. This is the hard part, is honestly, there are lots of things you can feel around and do without causing too much damage. I can't seem to get this to plug in. This is where I'm going to take a picture with the flash on and hopefully get to the bottom of this. Actually, I might not even need the flash. I might can just use my camera here. Yeah. Hold my camera here. And I went right into it. Wow. I'm just literally using my camera as my eyes and can zoom in and zoom out. Okay, time to get everything together. We're gonna stand this bad boy up. This is my front panel. We're gonna get it back on there now that we've cleaned the dusty bits out. I love this. It's got a Fantex logo on the bottom, which you can feel. We got our dust catchers in here, all clean and fresh. So essentially, we just get this bad boy back into place and snap it on. Beautiful. That part is super easy. I think we're gonna do this back panel first because it is gonna be the hardest, only because there are so many cords to get around. I'm gonna make sure everything is still plugged in. My solid state drive is still plugged in. My hard drive here, power and SATA. All right, everything here looks good. Got our fan cable pulled through. Essentially, this just has some little slots that catch. Then you line it up, you make sure it's flush, and then slide it in until it snaps, and then screw my thumb screws back in. These top panels are actually pretty cool. These are solid panels with foam on the inside as well, and they're just magnetic, so they stick to the, well, when you get them on there right, they stick to the case. There we go. But it also came with mesh filters that you put on if you had fans on the top. All right, this is the side panel we use the most. Are we ready for it to go bye-bye? Is everybody ready? I know, it's not beautiful. What can we do? Some RGB in it? I don't know. But it's mine. And I think that's what really matters. But I'm gonna clean up my workspace behind me. It's a little bit of a mess. I'm gonna make sure I wipe down the counter and everything, and then we're gonna try and plug this thing back up. If you guys made it to this point of the video, I just wanna say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with me through both parts of this video. I know it's been a crazy adventure, and we did it. You can see behind me, my computer is on. It is running. I'm gonna run some checks on it later to make sure it recognizes everything. But I do have some things to add. Let me just tell you the mistakes I made. Okay, first of all, I put everything together and I forgot to plug up my GPU. So, went back, did that. Whatever, all's well, it happens. Then, it wouldn't recognize my boot drive, which is my solid state drive. It recognized my spinning hard drive, it recognized the new M.2. So I went and unplugged those and plugged them back in, and voila. Voila, they work fine. But yeah, they gave me a chance to get everything cleaned up. Over here in the corner, it looks a little nicer, though I have not put my mic stands back up yet. That will come next. But I wanted to show you guys that we have succeeded, and I'm a little surprised and a little proud. So thanks for sticking with me through all the mistakes and all the frustration and everything. You guys are the best. Hopefully we'll get some game streaming going on soon now that we officially have my stream card installed and my M.2 drive ready to go. But until next time, guys, stay curious. Bye.